Okay, so Gamescom 2025 has kicked off with Opening Night Live, the big live stream thing featuring Jeff Keighley and a bunch of gaming news. So today, we're gonna round up 20 things you need to know from this event. Starting off at number 20, La Divinia Comedia. If I'm pronouncing that right, I apologize to my Italian friends, but this is a Dante's Inferno Souls-like, straight up. Like, it's based on Dante's Divine Comedy, and it says it's gameplay, but this trailer to me looked very, very staged. That's all speculation, of course, but what we do know is that it is presumably a Souls-like game set in the world of the famous poem. Judging from the look at gameplay, but also the studio behind it, Jayama Games, if I'm pronouncing that right. They are an Italian studio who last year put out Enotria, Last Song, which was a Souls-like game with some cool twists. It wasn't perfect, but now they're taking on the Divine Comedies. Maybe if this does well, one day we'll get another Dante's Inferno from EA, but for now, we have this. Next, over at number 19, we have Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. This is a new, full-fledged Lego Batman game set in a big, open-world Gotham City with all different Batmobiles to drive around in, enemies to fight, and the game is actually centered around just honoring the entire legacy of Batman. So not just movies, but also comic books. There's a lot here, a lot of different representations of famous Batman moments and characters that you might recognize. They promise deep cuts as well. And from a gameplay perspective, it kind of just looks like a Batman Arkham game, but you're Lego Batman. And you know what? I am 100% okay with that. That's all we know right now, but it is slated to release sometime in 2026. Next, over at number 18, we have Cinder City. This is the next big multiplayer live service game from NCSoft. This has big sci-fi warfare, humanoid and robotic characters with abilities, grappling hooks. You're also hopping into vehicles like tanks, helicopters, and motorcycles. And it's all wrapped in a nice package of shiny, over-the-top graphics. This to me kind of just looks like another free-to-play live service thing I might forget. But who knows? I tend not to really like these games, but some of them, even if they look generic, they do end up finding an audience. Next, at number 17, we got a new trailer for Silent Hill F, featuring the English voice actors, so you can get a little bit of a feel for how that's going to go down. We got a new sequence in a new setting, highlighting what seems to be a mysterious new enemy. We also got little glimpses of combat, some of the gross enemy types, and yeah, it's more Silent Hill F. Still not sure what to make of this one, because it feels like a very different Silent Hill game, but I'm glad they're bringing this franchise back. And thankfully, we'll get to see more of the game soon when it releases this fall. Next, over at number 16, we have Project Spectrum. This is a PVPVE first-person shooter from the Delta Force people. This is more of like a psychological horror survival thing mixed with a first-person shooter multiplayer game, and I think that's a good idea. This trailer is actually pretty cool. As a concept, it seems fun to go in as a soldier in a haunted house, shooting bad guys, but then also dealing with some elemental force, and then with one character being able to control that force. I don't know, that's good asymmetrical multiplayer fun. But, like I said, it's from the Delta Force people, so it's definitely going to have some free-to-play trappings. We don't know for sure, but Project Spectrum is coming soon. Next, over at number 15, we got a look at the big, over-the-top cinematic trailer for World of Warcraft Midnight. This is the 11th expansion, and I don't know, there's something just about a good old-fashioned, like, Blizzard cinematic. They do them really, really well. They go so hard. The production values are absolutely over the top, and we're getting this one here, and we know that World of Warcraft Midnight, the expansion, and everything else going on with this is coming in 2026. And next at number 14, check out Heat. This is apparently an update, kind of a spin-off for World of Tanks. This is free-to-play PvP. It's a vehicle shooter that just looks a lot more fast-paced, brighter, crazier than your normal World of Tanks fare. And I think it's worth pointing out just because it looked different. And honestly, World of Tanks has been trying different things. Of course, Wargaming has a lot of things going on, but I don't know, Heat just looked a little bit different to us. Along with that, they also announced that World of Tanks 2.0 is coming soon, so there's a lot if you like these types of games. Also, if you like these types of games, or really any games at all, consider subscribing. We've been looking at the data recently, and apparently more of you guys watch and you don't click subscribe. Thank you if you have subscribed, but if you're new, definitely consider doing that. Anyway, let's keep going. Next, over at number 13, we got a new trailer for Onimusha Way of the Sword. This showed a bit more gameplay, new cutscenes, and some really nasty, creepy enemies. This is what I look for in Onimusha games. I was hoping to see some of these creepy weirdos, and thankfully, we're getting them. I was hoping to see a little more gameplay from this one, but still, just getting new glimpses at this game, I'm hoping this is a good one. I say that as an old school Onimusha fan. Still no release date for this one, but hopefully we get one soon. Next at number 12, we have Death by Scrolling. This is a significant game because it's from Ron Gilbert, one of the people behind the Monkey Island games. A legendary developer now is taking on something pretty different, pretty quirky. This is an RPG roguelite with a scrolling element. It's a top-down kind of RPG where the screen is endlessly scrolling upward, pushing you forward, always moving. It's got all the RPG elements you'd expect, but in this really cool, quirky package. I like the title, I like the premise, the gameplay looks fun. It's got a Steam store page listing now, but no release date yet. Next at number 11, Cult of the Lamb is back with a, apparently, in their words, huge new expansion. This is called Woolhaven. This looks absolutely over the top. A ton of new stuff, new cultists, a mount. It looks like new combat options, new dungeon. And honestly, this is really cool because Cult of the Lamb is incredibly awesome. I still think it's underrated to this day. Not enough people really talked about it, but it was incredibly addictive. It's kind of like a mix between a dungeon crawler and a murderous Animal Crossing. I think it's great that it's getting new content. I'd love a reason to go back to this game, and apparently Woolhaven, the expansion, is coming 2026. Next at number 10, we have a new CRPG from the Disco Elysium people. Check out this, it's called Zero Parades. Don't know too much about it yet, but it looks like they are sticking with what they do best. Text-heavy, contemplative, thoughtful writing, a really cool art style that kind of blends hand-drawn and watercolor and other mixed mediums, and probably some complex themes. All I can say is I think Zero Parades, like as a title, just sounds cool. No release date for this one yet, but we're looking forward to seeing what they're cooking. Next, over at number 9, another expansion, a significant one, the next big story expansion for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This is the second one, and this is Legacy of the Forge, where Henry essentially gets a blacksmith shop that was burnt to the ground, so it's up to you to kind of build it from the ground up, become a blacksmith, sell your wares, and apparently there's story elements to it too, and that's great. I haven't gotten around to playing the first story expansion, heard good things about it though, and like I said, this is the second one. Just a really good excuse to stay in a great game world. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 as a game on the whole is incredible, so the more the merrier here. Apparently this is releasing September 9th. Next, over at number 8, we have some release date updates for games that were already announced, things we already knew about, so I figured I'd cram them all into one point. Outer Worlds 2 is now releasing October 29th. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is releasing October 21st. That Deadpool VR game is releasing November 18th. The follow-up to the indie darling, Moonlighter 2, this is releasing in early access October 23rd. We also got a look at Call of Duty Black Ops campaign and a zombie reveal, possibly with this cool top-down mode, but we know Black Ops 7 is now releasing November 14th. Also, the Indiana Jones and the Order of Giants DLC got a new gameplay trailer and a release date. It's going to release September 4th. Also, they teased a Switch 2 version of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle for 2026. And last but certainly not least, Hollow Knight Silksong. No release date yet, but they just doubled down and reiterated that it's coming in 2025 for real. Apparently, we're going to get more news from the developers soon, and hopefully that's an actual damn release date. Next, over at number 7, we got something new for Warhammer 40k. It's a new Dawn of War, Dawn of War 4. I think there is a lot of potential here to kind of fix some of the issues with Dawn of War 3 that some fans had. That's been sitting at around mixed on Steam for quite some time now. Dawn of War 4 could be the next big thing, and I think people, despite 3, however which way you feel about it, I think people are hungry for a new one of these, and thankfully it is releasing sometime in 2026. Next, down at number 6, we got a new trailer for Ghost of Yotei, showing more of what you expect, a game that looks a lot like Ghost of Tsushima, but in a new setting with a couple of new weapons. bit more gore and more of a revenge tale. But we already knew about this game. That's not the news. The cool news is they announced at the end of this trailer presentation that Legends mode is coming to this game. Ghost of Tsushima Legends was a really underrated multiplayer mode that definitely found its footing. People really loved it. So I think the fact that the sequel is getting that is absolutely great, because we didn't know one way or the other. But Legends mode is confirmed, and apparently it's coming a bit later after this game releases in 2026. Now at number 5, check this out. This is Road Kings. Unfortunately, all we got is a cinematic trailer, but we can look into the rest and kind of get what's going on here. This is a new trucking simulator game from Saber Interactive and Focus Home. So if you like SnowRunner, Mud Runner, things like that, this looks to be more of like an adventurous style trucking game, possibly with characters, weather events. It looks like you're like your own freelance trucker. I don't know. This could be really cool. This was announced during the pre-show, and we wanted to mention it because we know a lot of people like these style of games, and they're always trying to put new spins on them. They've done that quite a bit recently with one that's a little bit more adventure-y and another one that's a little bit more construction-y. So Road Kings is definitely something to keep an eye on. Now at number 4, we got a new game from Game Science, the folks behind Black Myth Wukong, a really great action game. So they're keeping that whole Black Myth thing with this new one called Zhong, if I'm pronouncing that right. With it being a Black Myth game, it seems like they're sticking with Chinese mythology, this time centered around this Zhong, who is apparently a god that can go between realms and hunts ghosts. I don't know, that sounds cool as hell. So are you going to be playing as kind of a god? Presumably the character teased at the end of this trailer. Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of elements you'd expect. We see big beastly creatures, some weapons, a giant tiger, and what seems to be the titular character, but just a cinematic trailer. Not much to go on here. I expect that this game is still very much in the works. It's probably going to be a while before we see more of it, but still, it's cool, and I like that the developers are sticking with the whole Black Myth thing and sticking with Chinese mythology, because it seems like it's just a really good thing to mine for stories for video games. Now down at number 3, check out Valor Mortis. This is the new game from the people behind Ghost Runner, and this is billed as a first-person action Souls-like. Yeah, but check it out. Like, you got like cool weapons, some supernatural powers. You're fighting monsters and all weird things, all kind of themed around a Napoleonic era, but they're really going for it, man. I have not seen a game that looks quite like this. It looks like they're going for a dash of hunt showdown, some Souls-like elements, more horror elements. I don't know, this is just really, really cool. Again, this was announced during the pre-show, but we wanted to mention it because it's one of the cooler things to come from this whole event. And as of right now, it just has a release date slated for sometime in 2026. Now at number 2, we have Lords of the Fallen 2. The follow-up to the pretty great Souls-like from not too long ago that was actually a follow-up to a different Lords of the Fallen game. This is Lords of the Fallen 2, and it's taking place 100 years after the events of the previous game. It's got that real cool signature, almost kind of like gothic Lord of the Rings heavy metal style to it. Apparently the developers have taken a lot of lessons from the previous game, and now this one is releasing sometime in 2026. Now at number 1, we got a new trailer for Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and I'll be completely honest, it doesn't really tell us a lot. What we get to see here is a little bit of a lead up to the previous revealed trailer. Here with the character you play as, Grace Ashcroft, going on a quick little adventure or escape with her mother, Resident Evil fans might know as Alyssa Ashcroft from the olden days, and we don't get to see too much other than following her in first person, and then a creepy scary guy kills someone, and that's it. As for Resident Evil fans, like there's a little bit more maybe you can read into, but otherwise, this still just leaves us with a lot of questions, which Requiem has really been doing. This new Resident Evil has been big on building the mystery, and I'm excited to see it finally unfold. People at Gamescom are going to be able to get their hands on the game this weekend and play a bit of a demo of it if you wait online long enough at that convention, and I think maybe we'll get some more details from that. But there you have it. Those are 20 new announcements from the Gamescom opening night live stream. Let us know what games caught your eye. It really helps us to know. Hit us up in the comments so we know what kind of games to talk about in videos. If you like this video, clicking the like button helps us out. We really appreciate that. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.